Okay, Eric, how you doing?
Hi.
Hello.
Good.
So, Eric, can you just maybe tell us a little bit about yourself for the people in Atlanta that are going to be seeing this? Kind of your education background,
Yeah.
where you're from.
I'm originally from Wyoming, Cody, smaller town. I moved up here to Billings to get my bachelor's degree in psychology, and plan on continuing in that field with getting a counseling psychology degree. So,
And what do you do here? Show us what you do here.
here I'm a family support consultant. I work with families.
Okay.
This is where I work, my area.
So why don't you tell us maybe a little bit about the problem that you've had with working here. I mean, just physically at the computer, and
Yeah.
what we did that sort of has helped alleviate those problems. You want to kind of give us the tour?
Yeah, well, I had worked a lot of years doing physical labor, and had ended up, when I worked here, experiencing more and more pain and neck problems, and my arms hurting and kind of numbing out on me. And so we had started figuring out what to, looking at my environment, what to do there. We ended up, of course, getting a different chair that I can have some head support with my chair, or arm support, and it's kind of a wider seated chair. The arms are on the chair farther apart. One of my problems is finding, if I'm having a lot of pressure in this area of my arms, immediately my pulse is dropping in my arms, and my arms are starting to get numb and hurting, and it's creating a lot of stress also on my neck area. It's just, ended up doing this. So we've changed it to where I've got the chair. I can sit up and use my chair. Split keyboard, again, to keep that.
Now that is a really weird split keyboard.
Yeah, but it keeps my arms apart to where I'm not getting that pinching in my shoulder area. Before, if I have a normal keyboard, I'm sitting like this, and there's a lot of the pressure this way and the muscle tenseness here. If my arms are apart, my arms are rested on my chair that's the right height, and then I'm able to type, and it
looks like Star Trek.
Yeah. I just wait till I get my swivel chair, mount a keyboard to where they're more on the side, and I can swing back and,
And then your monitor's kind of high up there too.
Yeah, try to keep everything, just it's keeping everything in line, and me in line and my arms apart, and I'll adjust it off and on. Some days I can tell I need it a little farther apart. So it keeps this whole environment up and straight, and I don't need to lean back as often to rest my neck area. I can pull my chair up and type this way, and take kind of a lot of that strain that starts happening off of my neck area also. So it's been really useful in how my evenings go and my whole week at work, with the way my body feels and being tired and arms being numb at night and things like that. So
Fabulous.
I like it.
And then you got a different kind of mouse too.
Yes. If that same thing with the movement of a normal mouse, or the other kind of mouse where you're moving the mouse around, it comes back to where I'm getting all of this movement up here in the shoulder area and tensing these muscles back and forth. So if I have the mouse that's just kind of stable, and then I'm just using my hand to
just as a
move
trackball.
my mouse.
You want to move your hand so people can see what that is?
So,
it's just a little marble mouse, Logitech.
Yeah. That one. So that just rolls within that area, and it eliminates that, again, that movement back up in my shoulder area of another mouse, I would be moving the mouse itself and getting all that happening, and so I'm kind of, I don't know.
Cool.
Speechless. It works great.
It's like no operation needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fabulous.
So
Okay.
yeah, just changing the environment and the use of the keyboard and the mouse has eliminated a lot of physical discomfort.
Excellent.
So it's good.
Cool. Well, there was one other thing I wanted to ask you about. Now, you work with a lot of our families whose kids has gender issues or other sexuality issues, and I was wondering maybe you could talk about resources for employers, or these other nonprofits. How do you accommodate somebody with these kinds of issues in the workplace? Do you have any good resources for that, or tips to employers?
We at PLUK we've been researching stuff and ran across a book. It's the Transgender Child. It's a handbook for families and professionals. It's an amazing book. There's been several written, but none of them really covers all the areas necessary to look at.
So what kind of areas? I mean, typically, we're working with schools usually, but they
Right.
would have the same kind of questions. What? It's pretty simple stuff that they're asking about that they're not quite sure how to deal with.
As far as the schools, or
Yeah, like bathrooms.
yeah, just it has those things in here. I mean, it looks at how do you accommodate someone without discriminating. One of the options, that they say in here with schools simply is you have a bathroom that is just a single-use bathroom. We've all gone into hospitals that have, you walk along the highway or the hallway there, and there's a bathroom, and you go in and use it. It's not a bathroom with 5 or 6 stalls. That's the same thing in a school. At the same time, that transgendered person would use that bathroom. All the other students should also have access to that bathroom. So they cover all that kind of stuff to where we're not getting, again, we might take a student or somebody that has a difference and sticking them in one area, or opening that up to everybody's use, and it's so you're not singling people out. They I don't know, particular to this book, just while the people are still asking those questions in the schools and trying to change things, people still don't understand the difference between gender and biology, or gender and sexuality and all that. So this book goes into that, and the people that write the book actually will come into schools, businesses, and talk about that and educate people, and just some of the real basic things that we don't think about, on that level of gender and gender identity, sexuality, and the outcome overall of the way we treat everybody, and the long-term mental health effects for our society, period. So
Cool. Well, we appreciate you
I'm
taking the time.
excited about this one.
Yes, we bought multiple copies of that. And,
Yeah.
have been sharing it with people, and parents have been buying it and
Right.
sharing
It's just a real common sense approach. It's not. There's no stigma tied with the book itself. It's about people.
it. Right.
So.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time, and you can say bye to everybody in Atlanta.
Bye, everybody.